Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Adam, how's it going in DC?
It's going good. As we just talked about, I was slaving over a stove to make mac and cheese.
You how to
Hopefully.
cook, Adam.
Yeah. Well, I will say one of my New Year's resolutions was to make a new recipe each month.
Okay. Okay.
Because I have all these cookbooks and I haven't used them in a while. I was like, okay. Um, as the months go along, you start finding easier recipes that help. And that was it was still a good recipe. It took some time, but um, it's like only a few ingredients. So that
Yeah.
was my September recipe.
No, I heard this woman, she was saying the same thing, and one of her goals is to become a better cook, and she got all these recipe books and all these ingredients. She said, I'm quite making all this.
Hey, fun fact, I just started making I'm picking a dish a month like he is, but I did it on my own.
Okay.
And I'm perfecting stuffed peppers, stuff like bell peppers.
Bell peppers, yeah.
Um I did my third batch yesterday, actually. So we're getting there. We're almost
Okay.
perfect.
Okay. Well, listen, I'll let y'all take it away with movie reviews, your second hobby.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I saw an interesting documentary, and I'm 2 weeks in a row with documentaries, but this is the first time I actually saw a newly released documentary that was premiered on YouTube. And it's called Listers, A Glimpse into Extreme Bird Watching. And it follows these two brothers that decide to learn about bird watching, and they learn that there is a list you do each year. You track from January to December how many birds you can identify, new birds you can see, and then there's like a whole industry behind this and like a big fan groups. So these two brothers, and they're from St. Louis. They're very they got a little bit of that like stoner mentality, so very chill, like drawl and stuff like that. They live out of their van. They get a van and they're gonna live out of it for the whole year and follow what the world of bird watching is. And along the way, they meet interesting people that like are big hobbyists. They meet the people who've like had the record for the previous years. They talk about the different apps and like how extreme people get into birding. And if anyone's seen The Residence, the Netflix show from earlier this year, there's a character that does birding and she like looks at birds. So I feel like it's very appropriate at this time, right now, of like people getting into bird watching. Um, it's kind of a cool because again, I think it's mostly self-funded. It's released on YouTube. The director and the editor and the creator, he's done cinematography work for a few other like documentary shows, National Geographic, wildlife, things like that. So he has the experience. It's not like a very low budget, low looking like documentary. They get really good shots of the birds in high def, and he edits it very well. But I was pleasantly surprised. Again, if you told me that I was going to watch a documentary on bird watching, I would have said there's got to be something better than that. But it really captures your attention, and it's like you really want to see kind of how they go along their path, and again, the mistrials they have, and the birds are cool. Like they again document all the birds that they record, and they have the very nice cameras to show it off. But it's a fun thing, and my wife found out about it because she got into birding this year. So some friend told her there's this new documentary on YouTube. Check it out. But again, it's called Listers: A Glimpse into Extreme Bird Watching, and yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by it.
And
Um,
so these people travel around the country because birds are kind of colloquial. They
Yes. So there's actually segments where there's like bird watching groups and like email chains. And if someone sees something in California, people will fly from wherever to go because it's there for a couple days or something, to catch these birds, these rare
Mhm.
bird sightings. And you're right. As the year goes on, they follow the migration patterns. So it's like you want to try to looks like load up on seeing as many birds as you want in like the first 3 quarters of the year because as winter rolls around, you're going to be less likely to see them. But yeah, I mean, they were covered, like they had little mosquito nets on their hats, and like they were covered in mosquitoes one night because they want to find these owls, and of course they're nocturnal, and it's you, they do a good job of like giving you the good and the bad, and they had a mission at the beginning of the year, and they kind of stopped that mission near the end because they said, this is not worth it. I'm not. going to park outside in this middle of this field and walk through a marsh to hopefully see a bird on my checklist just so I have it done. So again, you get a lot of cool ups and downs and what's inside this world.
That would have been me. But go ahead.
Exactly. Um, the only other thing I mentioned last week, I started Adolescence. I did finish it. Really good show, really well done. The single camera, actually, I was fine with. I will say season episode 2 is the weakest when they're at the school, so I think that's why it was so hard for me to get past it. But episode 3 is the best episode, I think. When like, it's with the therapist and yeah, great show, like great writing. I can see why the kid won, I think, the Emmy, and he's like the youngest Emmy winner because that single shot show, and I was incorrect. They actually did those as a single shot. There's no cheats in each episode. So they did each episode, they multiple takes, and then they just picked the best one for the single shot. So kudos to the team and everyone like of
Mhm.
making that whole complicated thing work.
Yeah, that single shot gives a different aspect to the experience. It's more real, right? Seems like you're like right there.
Yeah, everything's real time. There's no skipping
Yeah.
ahead. You're sitting
Yeah.
there for that hour and you're
Hmm.
experiencing that hour with them.
And those moments on the acting side of things, those moments when the actors are giving that performance, you're actually forced to be uncomfortable in that space of that emotion that they're emoting in that scene. It was really good. It was really good. I can see why, like you said, they won awards, and it was highly revered because of that reason.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing I'll mention on a lighter note, The Paper, finished that up, season 1. There's only 10 episodes, really funny. Steven, if you haven't gotten around to it, you're gonna love it.
Oh yeah.
Very office-like, but
Yeah.
yeah, very enjoyable.
Gotta check that out. Okay.
All right. So I saw a film called Mother's Instinct, which stars Jessica Chastain and Anne Hathaway, and it's about two housewives that are best friends and neighbors. There's a tragedy that happens between the families, and the husbands are friends too. There's this tragedy that happens between the families, and there's a deterioration of the relationships that start to happen. And there's some twists and turns along the way of maybe things aren't the way that they seem. Um, Maybe the relationships weren't as deep as the individuals thought that it was because of this tragedy. Um, some mental illness comes out, and then there's more twists and turns as it gets to the end. And I don't want to tell you any of the storyline because it'll give away the meat of the film. But it's very good. Jessica Chastain, it's actually through her production company, Freckle Films. And one thing I can say about that particular actress, her and I would say, and it's a few others, but Margot Robbie's another one that comes to mind when it comes to an actor taking charge of their career and creating their own films that they want to be in. I so appreciate that from an actor simply because if they're in their wheelhouse of a performance or subject matter that they want to portray, it lends itself to be a better film just simply because the passion is there for it. Definitely check it out. Anne Hathaway is a plus actress, and Jessica Chastain. She kills everything she's in. So definitely check that out with these two powerhouse actresses giving great performances as mothers with families. Check it out. So can we talk about the morning show being back? Did anybody?
Yes. That was on my list. Yes.
So I haven't watched the first episode yet. I went back and I watched the last episode of last season to freshen me up to
I
jump
gave
into
you
the
a
new
10
one.
minute recap, so you could have watched that in the
No,
first.
I needed to watch. I needed to because for me it's about the nuances.
Yeah.
So I needed to see like the whole storyline because if the writing is great, they will take some of the nuances and they will make them bigger in the storyline. To me,
Mm-hmm.
that's what makes great art. So yeah, I'm on that. I'll probably watch the first episode of the new season tonight because I finished the old one last night. So I'm on it. Um, HBO Task, I'm still watching that. That's pretty good. And let's see. There's another film that I saw. It's called The Artifice Girl, and it's pretty much about special agents get together from an FBI task force, yet again, that deals with pedophilia and catching pedophiles. And what they do is they profile people and do an extensive search and do a rundown to see if they have that type of behavior. Well, they find one man, they run his behavior down, but what they think they discover is the fact that he is using his daughter as bait to catch pedos
Mm.
and put them in a situation. It's only entrapment if you're a cop. If you're a regular citizen, they can do a citizen's arrest and the cops will come in and do their investigation. And that behavior that he exuded led to a number of arrests, and they traced it back to him. But now they're formulating a case against him because they're thinking that he's using his daughter as bait, which is against the law.
Mm.
And he's putting his daughter in harm's way. Well, they find out that his daughter is not his daughter. His
Mm.
daughter is an AI generated little girl that he's using. And then this whole story takes on about AI, how it's supposed to be used, if it could be used in this manner, and what happens and what manifests from that point on, leading into the future and what could possibly happen if this road is taken. I thought it was scary. It's very scary, very interesting, very eye opening, and back to scary. So
Yeah.
definitely check it out. It's called The Artifice Girl. I saw that on Tubi.
They're gonna have to make some rules around AI. I can see it coming up with even more
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I just want to shout out Beauty in Black. I saw it on Netflix. It's Tyler Perry series. Season 2 came out. I binge watched it over the weekend, 8 episodes. And what he did last time, I think he dropped like 8, and then he came back later on and dropped more. I think it's gonna be the same situation with this one, but it's 8 initially for season 2. Very dramatic, very Tyler Perry. But it was good. I thought it was good. Then the morning show you talked about that. That show just doesn't fail, does not fail. And they
It
touched on
doesn't. And you know what? And what I was going to say too, and I didn't. I don't mind that they take so long in between the seasons because you know when they come back, that's going to hit every time that they come back. Take your time, get it
yeah,
right. Isn't that how the song go? Take your time, do it
right.
right.
Exactly, exactly. And then finally, Big Brother. So I hadn't talked much about Big Brother, but the season's wrapping up, and they're already in jury, and they have 3 people in jury. I think 3 people in jury, 3 or 4 people in jury. And the person I want to win is Kenyu. I think it's now his name. I want him to win. He has a terrible social game, but he wins every competition. So just when you think you got him on the block, he's going home. He'll win that the HOA. Head of household. And so yeah, so I think he's gonna win. But if they get him on their block, they're gonna vote him out because he's a strong competitor. But so far so good. But anyway, thank you so much, y'all, for letting us know what to watch and what to spend our time, money on, what not. And we'll be right back after this.